Okay. So Boba Fett has
Fat
taken
man.
an interesting turn. Did we ever have this discussion, Andrew? Because we ever have it on air? I think it was just in text where you said, what's the appeal of Boba Fett? Why do you care?
Yeah, that was me as kind of the newbie in this little group. I've only seen the movies and what's been like on Disney Plus. Obviously, I haven't delved into the comics or the books or all the other lore that's out there. And so, to me, Boba Fett's just this cool looking bounty hunter guy that's in like 5 minutes of Empire and 5 minutes of Return of the Jedi, and then gets eaten by the giant sand squid. And I'm like,
thank you.
I'm
literally, really, that's you have a great point. It's only in like a couple minutes of each movie, and yet it has become like this cult figure or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's my generation's fault.
I agree with you.
He just looks cool.
Oh, he does.
That's it.
Yeah.
He just looks cool. Now, as a kid, I grew up on the original trilogy, and that was my life. And the action figures and the toys were my life, especially the action figures. As a kid, I played with the action figures all the time. And of course, I don't have any on with me right now. But that Boba Fett one was so cool. And oh, by the way, it also floated in water.
Okay, I don't understand, but okay.
But it was just it's just cool. It just looks cool. Do you agree, Pam?
I do. But I was just telling Andrew, I was 17 when Empire came out. So a flash of some cool looking character who's in it for 5 minutes meant nothing to me. I was like, I never understood the appeal of Boba Fett either. I thought, is it because he's an ET and Elliot plays them in ET? Like he makes, like, did you remember that? There's that scene where he plays.
Oh,
Boba Fett,
what? Elliot dresses like him in for Halloween or something.
Well, and he has the action figures and he's playing with them.
Really?
And I thought, did that help make it so popular? Like, how did this character get so popular? I agree.
It's just a cool looking dude. They actually do. There's like a 20-minute little special on Disney Plus about it, and they basically break down, and that's the first thing they say is, hey, this dude's in here for like a couple minutes in this movie, couple minutes in this movie, what's the deal? They go into like the origin of it. He was actually supposed to be like part of an army, which actually kind of ended up happening in the prequels and stuff, but he was supposed to be part of an army. They didn't have enough money, so it's like, okay, we'll just make that one dude. And it just looks cool.
And now he's this phenomenon.
Yeah. So that was my question going in, and now like having like just wanting to know more and listening to like some podcasts of people that know more about stuff than I do.
I mean, look at it.
You should have warned that at the beginning of the podcast.
I mean, look at it.
Look
at it. Hey,
but
I'm gonna beat him. I mean, how cool is this?
It is cool.
I mean,
you should wear that on every podcast.
I mean,
I think it's
I defer to you, Boba.
Oh, is it stuck?
What is he, Lord Boba now?
I'm in trouble. I'm gonna get this off.
He's Boba the Hutt now or something.
Ew.
Okay.
No, but he supposedly pops up, and there's like entire books dedicated to him, and he like at one point leads Mandalore and like some war or something like that. He apparently has a much bigger role in like the extra material. So,
can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear. If you make it through this whole podcast with that on, like,
I might just do it like this.
Kudos.
Let's do it.
This is the way. Yeah.
This is the way.
Now I feel like a slacker. Where's all my Star Wars stuff? Here's Grogu.
I have no Star Wars stuff. Sorry.
This is the mask.
This is the mask. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of sound like him too in the helmet too, which is the other cool thing.
A little bit.
One complaint I have about this series is there is a whole lot of Boba Fett without the mask. And I don't like without the helmet. I don't like that.
Why?
I don't want to see the dude. I want to see the mask. That's the whole thing. He's cool with the mask. Otherwise, he's just some. You know what he looks like with the mask? He looks like every dude at Disney World and every dude at every comic book convention that tries to dress up like Boba Fett. It tries to dress up like a Star Wars character. He just looks like a Star Wars cosplay dude.
Well, it is the same guy. It is Tamora Morrison, the same guy that played Django in episode 2, right? Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool since Boba was supposed to be a clone of him that just grew at a normal rate. I thought that was kind of cool that they brought that same actor back.
Yeah, kudos to him for sticking around all this time and doing all this stuff. Like, that's awesome.
Well, was Boba the original clone or something like that?
No, when they say
Django
in episode
is.
2, they say in episode 2, one of Django's requests when he was agreeing to be the base model for all the clones was that he wanted one clone that wasn't age accelerated, that just aged like a normal kid, so he could raise that one as his own. And that's who Boba is. Because
the clones they age at a faster rate.
They age it. I think it's a dropped line on Camino. They accelerate their aging up until their prime age or something, like 18 or 20 or something like that. So they're basically battle ready.
Okay. So they grow them up quick. I think they stop it somehow. I don't know how that works, but so Jango Fett wanted a cage-free fighter or whatever. But anyway, so
he wanted organically grown.
Yes, isn't the Bad Batch about like Boba Fett's sister or something like that?
No, I didn't know.
Watch it.
Yeah,
there is a young girl that was also born on Camino that they haven't really given her origin story yet. But the Bad Batch centers around just a group of quote unquote defective troopers. They're just like, they don't operate the same way as the regular clones, but they're like commandos because of it, because they're like creative and stuff. It's actually a really good series. I highly recommend it.
Heard it. It's good.
So we're on we just finished episode 6. We're recording this the day after it came out. And what are your thoughts on the first 4 episodes? Because the first 4 episodes are basically about Boba Fett, and then we take a turn into Mandalorian season 2.5 or something like that, which is
I heard it was called Mandalorian season 2A.
Basically, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So
go
ahead.
I loved the backstory. I loved it because for the reasons we're talking about. This character is just this flash in a pan, cool costume. And as much as I love Star Wars, I am not unlike you, Andrew. I have not read a whole lot. I haven't done extra stuff. I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with Star Wars, but basically the films. So in collecting, I have so much junk, it isn't even funny. But those first 4 episodes give you all that backstory and what's going on Tatooine, and I love all that. Like, and his like taming the Tuskens and becoming part of the Tusken Raiders family. I loved it. Now I will say episode 4 was pretty darn slow for about 3. Is it 4 or 3? Might have been 3. Like, okay, come on. But the first 2 episodes I loved. Loved.
What do you think, Andrew?
I tend to agree with Pam, especially coming in as the newbie, having those same questions about Boba. I didn't know anything about the character. I didn't know why I was supposed to care, other than, are we just going to watch this cool bounty hunter just run around and like run and gun for 6 or 7 episodes? And I'm glad they gave him a backstory. They stripped him down literally in the first episode, and he's got to earn the trust and learn the ways of the Tuskens. I like that he picked up the little gourd water trick thing from them. And it really gave that character some pathos. Like, it gave him a reason to be doing what he's doing, not just, I'm a cool bounty hunter, pew, 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 pew. And I will agree that by 3 and 4, I'm getting kind of sick of that back to tank stuff. Like, I'm kind of glad that they were done. We're done with that now. He's fully healed. We're good. Because I didn't need to watch Tamora Morrison take a bath for 30 minutes of an episode. Like, I didn't need that in my life. But
it is
what it is. It was a solid storytelling device. It gave a clear delineation between, okay, this is a past memory and this is present day. And I liked that because it could get confusing otherwise. So I think they used it well. I'm glad they ended it where they ended it, and I'm glad they gave me some backstory. So
it also keeps it fresh in your mind, the fact that this guy survived the Sarlacc pit, which is a big deal. So you keep remembering, oh yeah, that's why he's healing, that he's Like that's a big deal in the
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi. So
there's a great crossover. This is my favorite part of the first episode from Parks and Recreation that came out years ago from Patton Oswalt, and it's literally that first scene we see where you pan down from the twin sons of Tatooine to see the gloved Mandalorian arm of Boba Fett. If you YouTube it, it syncs up perfectly. I don't know if Jon Favreau wrote it that way because of Parks and Rec, or it just it's happenstance, but it lines up perfectly and it's hilarious. So
yeah. I mean, we've all been wondering the whole time, because we all heard, because in the in all the novels and stuff that came out after, they're like, oh yeah, Boba Fett survived, and it's like, well, how could Boba Fett survive the Starlight Pit? It's like, well, because he causes indigestion, but let's put it that way.
I heard theories from the novels that he just like jetpacked out of there or something like that.
Right.
I liked this one better. That it wasn't just like, oh, push a button, pew. Like he had to like do some stuff.
So in Empire Strikes Back, he was just a cool looking dude that caught Han Solo and put him in carbon.
He didn't even catch him though.
He didn't even catch him. Okay, he was just there. He was
there because Vader needed Han to lure Luke to Bespin, and then once Luke was there, he was like, all right, taking the job. I don't care.
Right. And then in Return of the Jedi, he looked like an idiot. He basically got his butt kicked by a blind dude.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that's how
Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, Han knocks him over, and he goes into the Sarlacc pit, and just like, wow, there's your badass. But and then but in Mandalorian, when he shows up in Mandalorian and he puts on the suit and he just kicks everybody's butt, like, yes, this is what I'm waiting for. And there was that shot of him that looked exactly like from Iron Man 1. When he just like Iron Man walks away, he does something with like a remote thing and blows up a tank or something like that. And Boba Fett did almost the exact same thing. I don't know if it was a nod to Iron Man or whatever. It was close. It's
the same writer, Jon Favreau directed Iron Man. So
yep. Okay. Well, so episode 5 was basically the Mandalorian with like 2 minutes of the thing with Fennec.
Bahrain, yeah.
But let's go back to 4 for 1 second, just the end of 4. I love the music. Love the music of Boba Fett. I love the music of The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
But how they add that little clip of the music at the end of episode 4, so you know what's coming. I thought that was brilliant. Like just
that was a good little nod. I liked that.
Yeah. She says, Fennec Shand says, well, we need some muscle or something like that. And then you hear
the Mandalorian music. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Okay.
They do that all the time. That they match the music of what's going on. Like, for example, in this latest episode, when he's talking about Yoda, they bring up Yoda's music from, one of the movies or something like that. They're always doing stuff like that. It is so cool. There's so many little details that are just crazy.
Oh yeah, there's a couple in the last 2 episodes that really I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I agree.
But this episode was basically 2 parts. One was the Baby Yoda parent-teacher conference, and the other was straight up Western. I mean,
oh wait, let's go back to 5. You're already on 6.
Let's go back to 5.
5 was awesome.
5 was awesome. What happened in 5? Basically, he okay. The big thing in 5 was about the Darksaber, which when that happened, when he comes out, because it starts with Mando saying, I need this, I need to collect this guy or whatever, and then they all want to kill him, and he busts out the Darksaber, and I'm like, oh my god, that's a Darksaber! Oh my god, he's doing the thing! Do the thing! That was so cool. But then they're talking to the armor, whatever, who's
the
like
gold spiky helmet girl. Yeah.
Gold spiky helmet girl. And she's hardcore a Mandalorian. I'm gonna call her Orthodox Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I mean, he commits the horrible crime of taking off his helmet. Like, it just reminds me of one of those, extremely religious people where you have to strictly follow their very strict rules, which is a lot like the Jedi. The Jedi have their own very
I thought the same
strict,
thing. I thought the same thing.
They're
Yes.
very strict code. So, just clear something up. So, okay, so he's using the Darksaber, and it's like fighting him because he doesn't know how to use it, and he got to do the thing. He got to, do whatever to master the Darksaber. But then
he's trying to use it as he would any other weapon that he's been trained with. He's really got to kind of commune with it. It's kind of like a Jedi and his lightsaber, going back to that. They're drawing parallels while also making sure these are drastically different religions, let's just call it, because it's easier that way.
Have you seen Star Wars Rebels, both of you?
I've seen some of it, not all of it.
Like 2 seasons, I think.
I saw like the first 2.5 seasons, and then the end. I watched.
How about Clone Wars?
Some
bits and pieces. No, I didn't watch Clone Wars.
I'm so happy, because then I could talk about Ahsoka and the other person that shows up. But anyway,
I know who Ahsoka is, but
there was there was an arc in Star Wars Rebels where the character Sabine Wren, who I believe was a Mandalorian, she acquires the Darksaber or something like that, but she doesn't know how to use it, and the Jedi teaches him how to use it, and it was a very deep emotional. It was like a therapy session that she had to overcome all of her fears and her doubts. And it was basically just a giant issue. She had to work out all her issues to learn how to use the Darksaber. So the Darksaber is not just, it's not just a thing. It's a state of mind, and you have to master it. And there's a lot of things you have to do to master that thing. But anyway.
Well, I think I know what the big thing for what's Mando's actual name, because he's not a Mandalorian.
Din Djarin. Din.
Djarin. Okay.
Yeah.
I think his big thing is going to be getting over what's the baby Yoda's name? Grogu.
Like that? Grogu.
Yeah. Grogu. His big thing is going to be letting go of Grogu, because he wasn't ready to do that at the end of this last episode. Well, I think that's it.
He did it.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, let's go back to the Darksaber for a sec.
Darksaber.
I like that I loved that scene in episode 5, and I loved the conversation, as much as I agree with you about the armor. Like, hello, the Jedi got destroyed because of their strict adherence to stupid rules. Like, didn't you learn anything? Like, part of me gets annoyed, but they use that whole scene to give the backstory to people like us, Andrew in particular, who don't follow all that. Now, I have friends that are big time Star Wars fans that have told me some of this stuff, so I've heard it, but like the Night of 1,000 Tears and the Great Purge and what happened to Mandalore, that's important to this story, and they use that whole scene perfectly to tell that bit of it. So I really, really like that.
That's the nice thing. Like that's why I was like so excited when you guys said that you didn't totally see all of Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. If you did, cool, but it's not necessary, because they're gonna bring it's not like an MCU thing where they, it's like, okay, here's what happened in this TV show or movie. Now let's see what the reference is in the comic books, which was, there's like 10 different stories about that in the comic books, which it's borrowing from or whatever, and it's all confusing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so okay, so I'm not totally sure. The dude challenges him for the Darksaber. He fights the dude. He Din Djarin wins, right?
Yeah, he doesn't even beat him with the Darksaber.
He wins that.
He's
ready to slice Vizna's throat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Which I believe actually was Jon Favreau.
Oh, seriously?
I think so. I think that dude was. Cool. I think he was either that. I don't think he was actually the actor Jon Favreau, but I think it was the voice of Jon Favreau. I think.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not sure. So yeah, and then the whole, and then she's like, "How dare you take off your mask? You violated our rules." I'm like,
yeah. So hit the road, Jack.
I want to take a shower. I wanted to wash my face. All right. my nose was itchy. Come on, lady.
I can't imagine thing that's going on in his forehead, man.
That's it. I needed to put some acne medicine on. So he's like, you need to go to the waters of Mandalore or some goofy thing like that. And then
but they're buried or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing from the episode 5 was he gets a new ship.
With Naboo Starfighter.
I was so
Starfighter.
I was so excited when I saw that.
Me too.
How cool was that?
All right,
oh
real quick.
Amazing.
Did anybody else think she was trying to build him a ship out of a pod racer at first? That was what I thought when I
Kinda
first
looked
saw
like
the
it.
engines. I was like, is she trying to build him a ship out of a pod racer?
Did you see that when he's testing out, when he's flying that ship for the first time, he actually passes the gate of the pod race?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that whole
yes,
thing
I
was the
did see that.
canyons, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
And Beggar's Canyon, and oh my god, that whole thing. I'm
Um,
not always a ship person, but that was friggin'
That was
amazing.
so cool.
I loved it.
That was a lot of nostalgia from that first movie. And like I know that first movie gets a bum rap for some legitimate
I
reasons,
love
but,
it.
like there are some parts to love about episode 1, episode 1, not the
And
first
I
movie.
love
1, 2, and 3 are
that.
awesome.
I love that there is just a hole that used to hold a droid. You used to be able to put a droid there.
Oh my god, I know. I was looking around for R2 right then. I was like, where is he? Is he gonna show up? What's going on? You know?
They tease that so bad in this newest episode.
Yeah.
Did you see that one shot when he gets out and R2D2 is there? The way they pan the camera, it's like R2 perfectly lines up with where he would be.
I know. And then you're like,
I think R2 was like, hey, I recognize that thing. So yeah, that was that was interesting. And then we get to episode 6. Holy cow. Like I said, it was half parent teacher conference, half total Western.
Yes, it was.
I mean, my goodness, they dropped that. So we'll start there because that's where the episode starts. We see good old Cobb Vanth is back. And now he's without the armor.
Mm-hmm.
and a cool haircut. And he just comes sauntering out.
Yeah. The salons, the haircut places in Tatooine, top notch.
First rate.
5 stars.
First rate, yeah.
The great clips in Tatooine, the Tatooine great clips, 5 out of 5 stars. Would highly recommend. Do a great job. Great job cutting the hair there. Great Tatooine great clips. And they are the what is it? The Pikes and the kid is they're in the middle of a spice deal, and you know the Pikes basically they've cornered the spice trade, and they take it from Kessel. They don't do the Kessel run, but they take it from Kessel and they distribute all over the galaxy. And I guess the spice is like the drugs of its
cocaine.
The cocaine.
Okay. Thank you, because I was confused about that. They keep saying spice, like it's the spice trade, it's the spice this, spice that, and I just kind of assumed spice was a drug, but
we're not sure. We're not sure.
Call it out?
They never really say, but it's obviously valuable like cocaine and being run like cocaine.
Right.
Back in the day, spices from India and China were like super valuable. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is like a super rare spice.
Well,
like
I also keep hearing references to Dune. I've never seen Dune or anything like that, but it's almost sounds like almost the exact same story.
Dune is very Star Warsy. At least I haven't seen the new one, but from the old one, from what I remember the old one, it has major Star Wars energy.
Or Star Wars is very Dunesy. I don't know. So anyway,
I don't know which came first, actually.
So the Pikes they're doing some deal or something like that. They're dealing spice, and Cobb Vanth is like, hey, you better not come around these parts.
Town ain't big enough for the 2 of us.
Yeah, this town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. I mean, I'm sure there was a tumbleweed going by at the time. It was like
there might have actually been,
so westerny, you know. And he ends up shooting. I believe there are 4 of them. He shoots 3 of them. He's like, "You look like the smart one. You send a message to the rest of them. Don't you come around these parts, partner. Dadgummit."
Yeah.
And then there's like a thing of a box of spice there. It's like get, you know, which is probably worth like lots of money. He just kicks it over.
The guy actually says to him, because he tells him to leave like, it's worth more than this town. And he's like, well, maybe I'll retire.
Maybe
And
I'll
I really
retire.
liked that little quip. I was just like, that was just so like off the cuff. Loved it.
And I love too that scene, because you're seeing the moisture farms and you're seeing all the things that make Tatooine. And
I love the moisture farms.
Me too. And you're also reminded of the fact that, okay, so this story got started with Boba finding out about the spice running and the pikes, and like it all ties together. That scene ties a lot of things together. I think.
It brings the big story of this season is event. A fight's coming, a war is coming, right. And this just accentuates that the pikes are running. They're basically taking over Tatooine to deal their spice or do whatever they want, do their business. And it's just furthering this story. It's like, here we go, we're gonna have a big fight.
Yes.
Quick question, just because it's been so many episodes. We actually haven't seen the pikes themselves, those guys in the little whatever masks. We haven't seen them do any actual fighting, right? They're just like hiring gangs to like terrorize like local communities.
The only time we saw them fight was on the train.
Yeah, the train. I was going to say.
And they were like shooting. They were shooting Tuskens or something. So that's about it.
You're right.
So now, then we go to, well, first of all, the title of the thing is called "From the Desert Comes a Stranger," which it could be two things. Could be. We'll talk about that later. But anyway,
yes.
This was directed by Dave Filoni from Pittsburgh, and the guy that basically co-created the Mandalorian. So basically, we should make a statue of him. But he was big in the Clone Wars, and he created the character of Ahsoka. So I
met him. I told you that, right? That I
met
Dave
what
Filoni.
You met Dave Filoni?
I did briefly. He would never remember me. But I went to Celebration 4 in Los Angeles in 2007. And at the time we had this whole hyperspace fan club blogging community. And we had a meet and greet right at the night that convention started, and Dave Filoni came. And there he was with his hat and the whole bit, and I got to meet him. So
he
wouldn't remember me.
God, that is so cool.
Friends, yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Was this in Disney World?
No, it was in LA. It was in LA. It was in the LA Convention Center. Yeah.
Very cool.
It was that blog. Yeah, we had a great blogging community in hyperspace, like right when Revenge of the Sith came out.
Wow.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Who else did you meet?
Who all was there? Like I'm trying to think of who was there at that. Steve, do you know who Steve Anderson is? He's an artist. Who was at that meet and greet? I don't know. I mean, like there were a bunch of celebrities there and Dave Filoni, I don't think was that, big a deal then yet. So, I mean, it's 2007.
He wasn't a big, at the time he was just, heck, I didn't even think they came out with the Clone Wars yet.
No. That was the Clone Wars movie came out in 2008. Yeah.
Okay. So he was just some dude at the time. So very, very, very cool.
Yeah. He was very nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Sorry, little aside.
So now we cut to Din going for the parent teacher conference to see how his little boy's doing. And we go to the planet where Luke is at, and they're building the Jedi Academy.
Yep.
Holy forking shit.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's like, then you're already making that connection. Kylo Ren and what's going to happen there, and the Knights of Ren, and the whole talk about ways to make connections to all the Star Wars stuff with these quick scenes.
They weren't heavy-handed about it. It was just a passing line. He's like, "What is that?" It's like, "Oh, it's not much right now, but someday it'll be a school." And you're like, "Oh crap!" If you pay attention to what Kylo Ren says.
See, this is what people were hoping. Some people were hoping the sequel trilogy would have been. That it would have been Luke creating the academy, training Jedi, stuff like that. Instead, we got what we got, which wasn't that bad. you could debate it, blah
I
blah
loved
blah.
it.
But now for I mean, and that's the thing, like old folks like me that grew up on the original trilogy. This is I've heard these past the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett called nostalgia porn. Hey, whatever, dude. I don't care what you call it.
As long as
This
it's
is
good.
the stuff I've been waiting for decades. Because here's let's look at the timeline. 1976 was episode 4, 1980 was episode 5, and 1983 was episode 6, Return of the Jedi. From 1983 till what? When did
99.
99.
Episode 1 came out in 99.
We had to wait 16 years of a diehard Star Wars fans with nothing but books. That's basically it. To get new stories. So we were dying to know what happened after Return of the Jedi. And now we're finding out. So I'm so happy. This is the time period that I love. Right here, right after Return of the Jedi. This is what I want. So I'm so happy. And I'm sure this is just placating to the dorks like me from that time period that are just excited for this time period. I think
Amen,
they're catering to me, and I'm fine with that.
Okay, so you too. It's coming up next. I have to ask you, were you satisfied with the Luke Skywalker we got in this episode?
In this episode?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah,
Okay.
why? Yeah, you mean like CGI wise and looks wise?
Oh, just the whole thing. Did you have any issues with it? Did you not like the way he spoke? Did you not think it sounded like him, looked like him? Was there anything that seemed off to you?
It is absolutely amazing that they could do deep fake technology to make him, I mean, obviously you're not going to have Mark Hamill from, 1984, not Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
But I had no problem. I have no problem with the CGI.
Awesome.
I had no problem with the technology is pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, it's
and I'm
there.
pretty sure they used Mark Hamill's voice too. So it's like, yeah. And you know what? I've heard that it's improved on what they used in the last episode of the last season of Mandalorian, that Luke Skywalker. I mean, I had no problem with that one either.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I think it's improved from, because the last time we saw that before was Princess Leia in Rogue One, which people were complaining about, and Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One. People were complaining about that was a little wonky. But no, I had no like from the look. No, I had no problem with it.
I thought it was friggin' amazing. Yeah.
I tend to agree, but again, I don't have the same weight of nostalgia that like diehard fans that grew up with it do. And I've listened to some stuff, like some people reviewing the episode, and they're like, he doesn't even talk the same, and he doesn't look right. And I was like,
get a grip, people.
What do you want? Only way
I've heard people that have called that they should have recast him instead, and not tried to do that.
They've, hey, that's an option. Bring in another actor. Bring in Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Stan would be just fine as Luke Skywalker. I'm okay with that. If they get another actor to be Luke Skywalker, so be it. I'm
Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I've heard people rail against that CGI, and I thought it was amazing. The stuff they can do with de-aging technology these days. I mean, the first time we really saw it like done super well, I think was Hank Pym and Ant-Man when they de-aged Michael Douglas. That was incredible back then, and this is even another level up. So I was really happy with it.
You know what? And it just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. It's amazing. Yep. So okay, so Din shows up and he's greeted by R2D2, and he says, "Hey, I want to see Luke Skywalker. I want to see my baby boy." And R2D2 says, and Din says, "Yeah, I want to go see him." And R2's like,
"Yo."
And then BB-8 showed up, and he said,
"No, he didn't.
Didn't get on my voice, darn it."
Yeah. So, and you have these ant-looking machines that are building the thing, and that's okay, cool. And they build a bench for him, or they build like a bed for him, or something like that.
I thought that was
sit your butt down, dude.
So you wait, and that was, I believe, a reference to Empire Strikes Back when Luke first meets Yoda, and he made Luke wait.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
I didn't think of that. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
It's been so long since I've seen Return of the Jedi. I kind of forgot about that. Or no, that was Empire.
That was
It's been
Empire
a while
Strikes
since I've seen the original
Back.
trilogy. I'll be honest.
Yeah. So we have Luke teaching Grogu, and this is so adorable. Oh my god, it's just fun seeing Baby Yoda again.
It's fun seeing Baby Yoda, and they use that scene so well. That part where he puts his hand on Grogu and has his memory come back, and he's seeing Order 66. I was like, oh my god, like another tie. That was, I keep saying freaking amazing, so I'll stop.
Here's one
I
thing. Here's one thing that I heard as a theory. You know where Grogu was hiding? He was maybe hiding inside R2-D2. Yeah, that
would be interesting. R2 agrees. That would be very.
Yes, R2 is like R2. Can you confirm?
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
Well, I did wonder about that.
But yeah, like where did he hide? Well, that's the big question. Is okay. So now we know what happened. Obviously, there was the attack, Order 66, and all that stuff. Obviously, he escaped that. Somebody rescued him, and then for 30 years, how did he go from there to there? I've heard one theory.
Ooh,
it was Mace Windu.
Ooh, I've heard that theory too. I've heard that too.
No, wait, Mace
think about it.
Dead.
Well, think about it.
You never see his dead body.
Exactly. He fights Palpatine.
Right. You don't see a body, he ain't dead.
Palpatine hits him with the lightning, throws him out the window, but you don't see a dead body. You don't see him. So maybe he survived that.
All right, I give that to you.
Very cool.
I'd love to see Samuel L. Jackson DH back in this universe. Give me that.
Yes.
Man.
I just love to see Samuel L. Jackson. He's a bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah, and he's even bad in those Capital One commercials. But Luke was telling Grogu about Yoda, and it was just so cute because it's like Luke teaching Baby Yoda about old man Yoda.
About Yoda, I know.
And the whole like student teacher thing is completely this Yoda taught me, now I'm teaching another one of his kind, and there's so many references in like when he put him on the backpack and was flipping him and stuff.
Oh my god, I know.
Yep.
And he's raising
like
up
that they
those
brought back the little
frogs,
laser
like
ball.
he raised up the
the raising the frogs, like Yoda raised the X-wing.
The X-wing. Oh, so cool.
Talked about.
I like the little laser ball came back. Did he train?
The training
the
thing.
The laser ball that Grogu thought was a soccer ball. He's like, oh, cool, we're playing soccer now. All right. Yeah. And then we see Ahsoka.
And the only part of this that really ticks me off. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What ticks you off?
Know why?
Well, I mean, when she starts with the attachment thing, and you can't give him his little gift, and blah 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 blah. Again, let's go back to the armor. The Jedi screwed up. The adhering to that, rule is what messed the Jedi up. And we're post all of that. So why are you still? I don't understand Ahsoka. I don't understand her.
It's Ahsoka's fault. Okay, so let's review the entire Star Wars thing. Okay,
so 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, this is going to be a 10-hour podcast. Right. No, okay. So you had, the prequels had, lots of Jedi, the Jedi Order and stuff. They were strict, they were dumb, they had their stupid rules, and it caused you're not allowed to love anybody, you're not allowed to have any attachments. They all ended up killing all of them. Then you have basically Luke is the only one left, and he did have attachments. But then Ahsoka comes and says, now Ahsoka, who knows his father, who knows everything.
Oh my God, I love that line.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That line when she goes, you remind me of your father.
I burst into tears. I burst into tears.
I almost did too. I did.
But she reminds him that this is what happened. Like, I mean, remember what happened in Mandalorian when Ahsoka showed up, and she, he said, well, here, go teach my baby boy. And she's like, I'm not teaching him. I'm not, he's too attached to you. And I know what attachment means because of Anakin.
Oh yeah. Because of Anakin's fall. Yeah. I totally got that from her.
So she's telling Luke, I know your father caused all this because he had an attachment. Therefore, you can't have an attachment. You can't, Jedi cannot have attachments. So Grogu cannot have a relationship with Din and be a Jedi at the same time. He has to choose one or the other. So this is Ahsoka's fault.
I mean, they literally put it in plain English at that last scene with Luke and Grogu, where he's like, you can have the lightsaber, or you can have the little chainmail armor guy. So, I tend to agree with you, Pam. I've always found the Jedi code very frustrating and like rigid and kind of not make sense. I mean, if you go back to the whole thing where they talk about the prophecy of the chosen one, it's like, he'll bring balance to the force. It's like, there's like thousands of you Jedi and like 2 Sith, right? Why would you want to balance those scales? Well, how does that play in your favor?
Right. Balance? You're already winning. You've greatly won. It's like, let's bring balance. Let's make it, let's even
I've never understood why they wanted to fulfill that prophecy. It's like, you found the chosen one, he'll bring balance to the force. Lightsaber.
Yeah. That was really dumb. I also love that when she said, I'm an old friend of the family.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh my God. But what now I missed this the first time. She basically tells Din, hey bro, get out of here. You're not welcome here. Get out. You're bad for him.
She does give him a choice though. She says you can see him, but you're gonna basically ruin his chances of being a Jedi and fulfilling his destiny. She basically says, if you do this, you're ruining his life. Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of terrible to say to a person.
It's terrible.
I mean, it's in line with her creed. It's in line with the Jedi code. And yeah, I get it. We all have our issues with the Jedi code, but like, I understand her reason for phrasing it that way. She thinks she's doing the right thing. So I don't think it's Ashoka's fault. I think it's the fault of the Jedi code. I don't agree with the Jedi code. I think it's dumb.
Let's go back on Ahsoka's history. Let's just do a real quick, introduction or introduction to Ahsoka. So basically, she started as the Clone Wars series started. It was basically the story of her. She was a young teenager Jedi Padawan, and she had to be paired with a teacher. And Yoda decided Anakin is your teacher. And they're both like, what? I mean, because Anakin was also very young at the time too. So it's like, how am I teaching her? Okay, well, they became great friends. They became very close. And then she got framed for some crime, some explosion somewhere or something like that. And she was eventually cleared, but the Jedi basically kicked her out, and then they're like, oh, we're sorry, we'll let you back in. It's like, you know what, never mind, I don't want to be a Jedi anymore. And she left the Jedi Order because she was tired of their BS. So for her to be the person that left the Jedi Order, to be tired of their BS, to be the one like, hey, you can't have attachments. Now she has reasons for saying you can't have attachments, but still, that's pretty big.
That's huge.
I mean, maybe she sees it as she saw the mistake in Anakin having emotions, but now that the old Jedi Council, the old Order is out, she thinks she sees a chance to rebuild the Jedi better than they were.
She just, I mean, everything is like, I mean, her big thing is, and I'm sure she blames herself for Anakin, going to the dark side also. So, she has that guilt. So,
oh yeah, I'm sure she harbors some guilt for that, because I don't think she ever. I watched the Clone Wars. I didn't know all about all this stuff. I don't think she ever blamed Anakin, did she?
She didn't blame Anakin, but no. She didn't blame Anakin, but she she comes back in Star Wars Rebels and she fights Darth Vader, which was another crazy thing. And like they're fighting, and she actually knocks off part of his helmet, and you could see half of his face, and he just looks at her, and she's about to kill him, but he looks at her, and as Anakin saying, Ahsoka, and she's so affected by this, like, oh my God, Anakin, you're still there, I could save you, but then a building falls on top of her, and it's like it's a whole big thing. And
Ahsoka, you could have ended all of this. We would have never had these movies.
Well, there's a building and there's time travel and all kinds of, but anyway, okay, so Din leaves, but I missed this the first time. As he's leaving, Grogu notices that it was him.
Yes.
He's like,
hello, the
His little
Force.
hand reaches
Don't you
out.
have the Force? Yeah.
His little hand reaches out.
He has the Force, but he doesn't. As we see, he can't even jump. So he just learned
that was cute.
So he's very.
He's got some serious midichlorians. He had to know. I kept thinking he has to know that Mando is here. He has to know he's here. So I would have been really ticked off if he didn't notice. If he didn't
that's
feel
annoying.
That.
That's annoying. Yeah. The one line by when Ahsoka was talking to Din, and she said, there's no safer place in the galaxy than right here. Well, actually, they all died 25 years later. This is the least safe place in the galaxy for them. But anyway,
I want to know where Grogu is in the new trilogy now. That's like my big question. Like, did Grogu get slaughtered when Kylo went nuts? Like, where's Grogu? Where's Grogu in the new movies? Give me that.
He wasn't there.
Well,
he wasn't there.
Well, actually, he wouldn't have been much older though, because Grogu's like already 50 in this series, right? Wasn't that a drop line? He's like actually 50 years old.
He's actually 50 years old.
At the very beginning, yeah.
So 25 years later, he would have been like half a year old. He would have been like
basically
barely older.
I mean, this is a dude that lives to be 900. So, he is basically a toddler right now, and he acts like a toddler, and he moves around like a toddler, and so he's I mean
Yoda was no spring chicken, but
this makes me really excited for what's coming though, as you're talking about this stuff, because if he's not around in the sequel trilogy, did he get destroyed? Does this have something to do with what he's going to choose at the end of the show?
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
I need to ask Grogu. Hold on.
I could just picture Grogu choosing the Mandalorian way and him just coming back with like his Mandalorian helmet with the big ears coming out. How adorable would that be?
That would be very cute.
They would sell so many of those helmets. Disney, get on that.
Okay, that's it. I'm getting my Grogu too.
I have a special guest, Grogu. Hey, Grogu.
Hey, baby Yoda.
Okay, I'm here.
There's two.
Oh my God, but baby Fett.
Oh my God! Wait, did you put that helmet on Yoda? On Grogu?
On Grogu. Oh Lord.
And then BB-8 said, "Okay."
Just to assure viewers and listeners, we're absolutely adults here.
We'll get to my theory at the end.
I want to hear it. Okay.
Okay, so we go back. So Din leaves. He goes back to Tatooine, and they do their little meeting with Boba Fett and Fennec and the mod squad, we call them, those mod people.
Squad.
Oh my God, yeah, those okay.
And really let's call him Chewbacca on steroids, Chrysanthemum or whatever his name is. That's a badass. And they basically say, okay, a war's coming, but we don't have the people. We need the muscle. And Din's like, don't worry, I'll take care of that. Yeah. So he visits Cobb Vanth, and idiot deputy, let's just call him idiot deputy. He's like, hey, you can't park that there. I'm like, shut up, dude. It's a desert. What are you?
Yes, we're so hard up for parking.
This isn't downtown Pittsburgh, bro. There's plenty of parking. Come on, this isn't Manhattan.
It's not even Mos Eisley, man. Come on.
You can't park here. There's clearly there's it's a blank desert, bro. It's an empty desert. Anyway, so Din talks to Cobb Vanth and says, "Hey, we're cool. You and me, we're good, bro. But I need your help because we need to fight the Pikes. We need, we got this war coming." And he's like, "Hey, we're keep us out of this stuff. Just keep us." I mean, that's how everybody's attitude is. Just keep us out of this. We're just happy doing our own thing. And
isolationism for the win.
Isolationism, yeah, isolationism. And so Din leaves, and I mean, it's like Cobb is like, "Listen, we're even. you helped us kill the dragon thing, and I gave you the armor. We're good. We're even. There's no, I owe you nothing." And Din's like, "Oh, I'm kind of asking you a favor, please. Pretty please, can I please, pretty please with sugar on top, with a cherry on top, please?" He's like, "Okay, I'll think
say
about
that."
Yeah. So Din leaves. And here comes, and this is the most Western thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Here comes Cad freaking Bane. My God.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you for naming that dude. I knew I recognized him.
Okay. So let's do a very quick history of Cad Bane. Cad Bane was basically the most badass bounty hunter of the Clone Wars era. Okay, he was all over the Clone Wars. He was involved in big stories in the Clone Wars. He basically did jobs for the Separatists, the bad guys. He did this thing where he and a group of people went into Coruscant and took over like the presidential palace, and the whole thing was like it was just a ruse to break out one of the Jabba the Hutt people or something like that.
Oh, that was the movie, wasn't it? Wasn't it in the
no, this was
movie?
No, it was. I don't know. It wasn't the Clone Wars movie. It was an arc in Clone Wars. Also, he did jobs for Palpatine. He would steal Force sensitive children. So God knows what Palpatine could do with them. Probably who knows what. Anyway, bottom line, he was a badass bounty hunter. That's it. So now he is hired by the Pikes, and he comes in, and it's a showdown at the OK Corral.
High noon. But this was, this is another one. They took Ahsoka was in the animated series and they made her in live action. This is another one that they took from an animated series and they made live action, and they did a great job. And he looked actually more menacing in live action than he did in the animated series. And Rosario Dawson looks amazing as Ahsoka. Can I just say,
she does, and she's getting her own series, which is being run by Dave Filoni. But anyway, so here it's like, you better, whatever Boba Fett's paying you, I'll match that. You better just leave us alone. It's like, I'm not leaving you alone, partner, because I got a gun. It's like, oh yeah, well I got a gun too. Where have we ever seen in the Star Wars universe a six slinger like a gun like the Western? I mean, come on. It's the most Westerny Western I've ever seen in my life.
Such a shout out to
ahead,
George Lucas's original idea, like the space Western. Such a shout out.
Such a shout out. So Westerny Western. And dummy WD. Just you knew the dude didn't even have a name. You knew he was gonna die. Anyway, he starts
cannon fodder number one.
Yeah, cannon fodder number one. He pulls out the gun. Cad shoots him. He actually shoots Cobb Vanth first, then he shoots the guy. Shoots the guy, really kills him dead. But I did not know this the first time. Cobb Vanth is actually gonna live.
I thought that actually. I was
really?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Good.
I like that character.
So I think what's going to happen is, that's going to inspire the town folk to join the war, basically.
Yeah, it's going to have the exact opposite effect they intended, that the syndicate intended.
Let me ask a Cad Bane question, because I only know who that character is because of some of my friends, to be honest. And the red eyes gave it away because I was like, oh wait, I know who that is. Is he from Tatooine? I mean, I know he looks like Sebulba. right? So
I
isn't
don't think
that
he
I
looks
have
like
no
Sebulba.
idea. I have no
Isn't
idea what race he is. I have no idea
not
where he comes
Sebulba.
from. He has
The other guy.
those weird pipe things going around him. I mean, he's
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Sebulba, sort of. I don't know. I just didn't know if he was like a Tatooine
I don't think
native,
so.
or I
No,
was just curious.
he
I don't know
was.
who the
much
natives of
about
Tatooine are. I think the Sand people are only like the real true natives of it, and I think it's just like
Jawas,
it's
maybe?
The Jawas and the Tuscans are the only ones native
Yeah.
to Tatooine, I believe.
Tusken Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sand people, whatever.
Yeah. So and you know, and then Cad Bane says, just
he's
leave
not
us
making
alone
it.
and
Yeah.
let the spice flow. Let us run these drugs. As long as we
Yeah,
run.
that's
Or it could be like saffron or something. Saffron's worth more than gold, more per pound than gold. So maybe it's like
Could
just
be.
the Star Wars equivalent of saffron.
Now also now we go to the bar.
Oh yeah.
Where now I just learned this. The lady that runs the bar, you know who that was? That was Jennifer
Yes.
Beals, the
Yeah.
star of Flashdance.
You expect her to start
That's
breaking
Jennifer
into
Beal?
maniac. Yeah.
Also,
What
shout
a
out to
lady!
Trinity. Sorry, that's the only thing I know Jessica Biel from is Blade Trinity.
Oh, really?
It makes
Okay.
me want to go watch Flashdance. Like I haven't seen it in a million years, but yeah.
We're short on time, or else I would do my ode to Flashdance. And basically the Pikes blow it up.
Yeah.
So basically saying, hey, we're the bad guys. Hey, we're bad guys. We're doing bad guy things. All right.
All the motivation that everybody needs to gather around Din Djarin and Boba Fett, and
it's like you said, Andrew.
Ray,
it produces the exact opposite effect of what they want. They want everybody to shut up and keep quiet, and it's just going to piss everybody off and get them.
I was going to say that's my problem. That's my problem with the syndicate strategy here. Is you just walked into this town of like rough and gruff people and killed one of their most beloved like people, and then blew up their bar. What do you think the reaction to that is going to be? Oh yeah. We're gonna roll over.
We're good. So now we go to Luke's planet, and he's he says he's like, hey Grogu, your daddy came and he gave you presents, but I have a much cooler present. Do you want to go with old daddy or new daddy? What do you want to do?
So what do we think? He has to pick the Mandalorian. He has to.
I don't know about that.
That's the choice. Do you go with the Mandalorian, or do you go with you go become a Jedi?
Question on that though, real quick. That scene, the lightsaber that Luke pulls out, it's a tiny little lightsaber. It's like perfect whatever Yoda's creature is, because they've never actually named what creature Yoda and Grogu are.
Right.
It's a tiny little lightsaber. Is that Yoda's lightsaber?
Yeah.
It
is Yoda's
Where
lightsaber.
Did Luke get Yoda's lightsaber?
Okay,
did he take it off his dead body?
This is one of the books or one of the graphic novels or whatever. In some story, Darth Vader actually destroyed Yoda's original lightsaber, but Yoda recreated his own. He created a new one. So he probably took, because remember, Luke was there when Yoda died.
Right. Luke's with him when he died.
So he probably.
I guess there was no body because he did that ghosting thing that Jedi do.
Yeah. So, he gathered everything, he gathered his old clothes, his lightsaber, his,
It would make sense that he has it. Yeah.
Whatever Yoda had at his little apartment, and he took that away. So.
Okay. I was just curious, because I was going to say, if that's not Yoda's lightsaber, Luke had that ready, like toot sweet. Like that was really quick.
It's so mean. It's like saying to a kid, it's like, we could have a pizza party, or we could go to Disney World. What do you want to do? Who are you gonna go with, kid?
It's so unfair, and it highlights to me. I mean, I love Luke Skywalker. Who doesn't? Who likes Star Wars? But Luke makes a lot of mistakes. He makes a lot of mistakes.
I mean,
And
he does.
this might be one of them.
Remember what Luke we're talking about. We're talking about Luke right after Return of the Jedi. We're not talking about Luke 30 years later when he's,
When he's cool.
He's when he's gone through all that stuff with Kylo
Right.
Ren and the Jedi Academy and he's disillusioned and all that stuff, or he's learned his lesson or whatever. This is Luke right after, and he's just learning, what happened with, his dad and all that stuff. I'm sure Ahsoka is telling him stuff. So, he's making mistakes. He's going to make more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's first of many mistakes, maybe.
So
But doesn't he have to? Go ahead.
All this stuff with the Jedi and like how much we're all kind of ragging on the Jedi code and like how like stringent it is and how ridiculous it is. And nobody likes the Sith. Obviously, the Sith are the bad guys. This all makes me really want to see the gray Jedi, like a gray Jedi pop up. Because there's something in the lore I know that exists
Wasn't
where
that,
there's a gray Jedi, where there's a
wasn't
gray
that
Jedi. What?
was that Mace Windu?
I don't know.
Wasn't he kind of gray? Because they kind of made him gray because he's like, I want a purple lightsaber. It's like, well, you see Samuel L. Jackson, they can only be red or green. He's like, no, I want purple. I was like, okay, we'll make purple. So
I mean, maybe that's a combo between the red and the blue. Maybe he
Right.
was. I don't know.
So yeah. So
But yeah, I really want to see a Jedi that doesn't adhere strictly to one side or the other, and that can kind of make his own decisions, but still is in one with the Force. So I don't know. I think that'd be an interesting storyline somewhere. I don't know where it fits.
Maybe that'll be Rey.
Maybe.
Yeah.
With her yellow lightsaber.
With her yellow lightsaber. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So yeah, that's the question. What is Grogu gonna do? Here is my theory.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
He's going with Din.
I think so.
He's gonna choose
I have no
to
idea.
go with Din. In fact, we might see him in the next episode. He might join Din in the war, and he might be using some of those things that he just learned, jumping around and stuff like that. But he doesn't have, he doesn't have a lightsaber.
Maybe
But
he
wait
gets
a minute. The dark saber.
I like it.
He's gonna use the dark saber.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that could happen.
I like it.
That could happen.
And maybe Mandalorian season 3 is Grogu and Din going to Mandalore and freeing them or taking over Mandalore or doing some crap to help the Mandalorians take over Mandalore and restore whatever to the Mandalorian. But maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I like where you're writing season 3 of Mandalorian into right now. So, but yeah, I mean, that definitely could be. I've also heard theories for the last episode of Boba Fett that we may see Han Solo and Chewbacca.
I've heard that too. Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, what are they doing right after, after Return of the Jedi?
CGI Mark Hamill.
They were,
Harrison
I
Ford.
think at the time, I think this is right around the time that Kylo Ren was being born. So maybe Han, maybe Leia's like, maybe Han's like, like tired of changing diapers. So he's like, hey, hon, I'm going on a business trip with Chewbacca. I kind of left something at Tatooine in Jabba's palace. I'm gonna go just pick it up. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, bye, honey. Bye.
I actually have a good
Like
theory
changing
for this.
diapers.
I actually have a good theory for this. So it's no secret right now that Boba's back, right? And remember, Boba was out for Han in those two movies in the original trilogy, and Han's kind of the one that knocked him into the Sarlacc pit. So with a kid on the way, with a kid being born or on the way, he may be going back to make sure that score is stomped. Whether it means he has to kill Boba, or Boba may just be like, hey, if you just help us out in this, we're square, no beef between us at all. And he gets the Falcon involved in the fight. He gets Chewie, like whole bunch of stuff. So that's how I think they would loop him in. But
I would lose my mind if the Millennium Falcon showed up.
I was thinking it might.
Now. That costs nothing.
I have a feeling, and I wonder how they would do that. You can't de-age Harrison Ford. The dude's 90 years old. You can't de-age.
You can't.
Man,
look
that
what
would look
Mark
rough.
Hamill looks like right now, and look what they just did with him.
That's true. That's true.
Dude.
Okay.
I
maybe.
would like to
Remember,
see.
they're not using mocap of real Harrison Ford. It's an actor. They're using old shots of Harrison Ford and using computer wizardry to do all that stuff. So yeah, you could de-age Harrison Ford, and Chewbacca's just some dude in a Wookiee suit. So
we could end up seeing.
Oh,
Go ahead.
there's
a lot of origins we could see. Go ahead.
God. One last thing I want to compliment this show on, and then I'll be quiet, is the mix between prosthetics and CGI has been freaking seamless. I credit whoever the art director and the design people and all the people that had anything to do with the costumes and CGI. This show looks fantastic. So that was all I want to say. Go ahead, Pam.
There's so many details. Like, for example, they on the Jawa vessel, the Jawa RV
thing.
let's call it the Jawa, they go rolling around. They were carrying the head of the dragon that they killed, and in the bar had the ribs of that dragon. I mean, I didn't notice so many details. Sorry, Pam, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, I was thinking about things that we could see. I mean, we on Kylo Ren, we could see some of Rey's storyline. I mean, I have to say, when I saw that Naboo starfighter, I'm thinking, are we going to hear more about Padme? Are we going to hear more about Anakin? I was even thinking, are we going to have like Obi-Wan show up somewhere in a flashback? Like, we know that series is coming too. There's just a million different routes that this could go. And by the way, when I see Anakin, I'm going to lose my flipping mind. I'm just throwing that out there. When I see Obi-Wan.
In the Obi-Wan series, Hayden Christensen. Oh man,
he's back.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's going to be so cool to see Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. Oh my god.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing.
So
knowing that's coming, and we now know that Rey is Palpatine's daughter, so we could have storyline there. There's Mace Windu.
There's so many things we could do.
There's the way they did this last episode, having Luke be there and bringing in Ahsoka, and you've got Luke, and you've got all these different pieces from all these different parts. Cad Bane. There's a million places they could go. I love it.
If the first episode of the Obi-Wan show is just 2 minutes long, and it's just Obi-Wan, it's just Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen saying, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? No, doing all right." And that's the end of the episode. We'd be like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing
I know.
You know, in that series, there's going to be a dropped line, because I don't remember him ever saying it to Anakin in the prequel trilogy. You know, there's going to be a dropped line where Obi-Wan is teaching him about having the high ground. You know that's coming. My one wish for the Boba Fett final episode is when they do, because you know there's going to be a big fight, is when there's that big fight, Boba lets the Rancor loose. I just want to see that Rancor just tear into things. Oh, that'd be so badass.
I think you're gonna have the Rancor show up. I think you're gonna have the Tuskens show up, because there was that one Tusken that lived, the girl Tusken. She's probably gonna bring all her Tusken friends. It's like, okay, let's get it on.
Yeah, because there are multiple tribes, right? There's not just that one tribe.
Right. It wasn't. It was just So yeah, they're out for revenge. And we still haven't heard it, but I'll bet you're going to see either. Is it possible? Yeah. We could see. Can we see Darth Maul, or is he dead? I forget.
Darth Maul died back in the prequel trilogy.
No, he came back.
Comes back to life. That's right.
He came back, but I think he's dead already. I think Obi-Wan.
I think he dies in Rebels again.
He does die in Rebels.
He does have a brother, from what I heard, though.
Yeah. What's his face? Yeah. You could have him. But remember Kira from the Solo movie?
Yes, I've heard she might show up.
Who is working for Darth Maul? And what is it called? The Crimson Syndicate, or the Crimson Dawn, or Crimson whatever the heck it is.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe she'll show up. Maybe she's the one behind the Pikes or something like that.
I have heard that.
Okay. I mean, all these theories are entirely possible. I don't know enough about Star Wars to speculate.
So excited.
Out wildly. I just want to see my Rancor.
So excited. Maybe.
Come on, Andrew. Don't be a fanboy. You have to want more than
how about
the Rancor was so cool to me in Return of the Jedi, and the fact that they brought him back for this, I want to see them full CGI that thing just ripping through people.
And Danny Trejo is the guy that's controlling the that's the wrangler of the Rancor. So yeah.
Okay.
It's exciting. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. I'm so excited. And this is it. They just know.
I love these live action series so much. Like I just love them all. They're so good.
They're
So
giving
good.
us what we want. That's
And
it.
you know what? There's all that space to fill in. We could go on with these series forever, and I'd be on cloud nine. Like, fill in this gap, fill in this gap, fill in. I'd like to see some Padme from back in the day. I'd like to see some more Rey. I'd like to see Rey and Kylo Ren. This time period between Return of the Jedi and the sequel trilogy, give me all of that. Give it all to me right now. So
so much to do. And I will say, this is a great marketing trick. This is a great marketing move by Disney, because they have found a way. Because I was never a big Disney guy after I got out of my like adolescence. Like those movies, they're okay, whatever. I don't have the desire to go to Disneyland again. I do now. I want to go to do those Star Wars things. I want to go to the Marvel stuff. So, Disney has found a way to hook a 30-something adult back into wanting to go to Disney World. Come on.
My wife was watching this last episode with me, and she's extremely casual fan. She says, wouldn't it be cool if we went to Disney World and did that thing? And then she's like, yeah, it's $6,000 a person, never mind. But still, that whole immersive experience and all that stuff is they're pulling us in.
I know.
I want to
go so bad.
With content we want. We want this content.
I hate Disney World with a passion, but I love the Star Wars stuff. Hey, the what's her face? The silver Captain Phasma. Stormtroopers marched right up to me, got right in my face, and said, "The First Order is watching you. You better stay in line." And I almost peed my pants. I'm like, "Oh my God, I am being confronted by stormtroopers. This is the greatest thing ever. I don't care if it's 90 degrees at 9 a.m. in Orlando. This is the coolest thing ever. I just got yelled at by stormtroopers. This is so cool."
Yeah, that's what I mean. Say what you want about Disney, but I mean they're putting out the content people want, and they found a way to get the little ones and get our age demographic back in there.
And they're honoring the original stuff. They are. They're honoring the stuff that we all want to see, which is the most brilliant way to do it. Like, don't just pull new fans in. Keep the rest of us happy too.
Oh yeah,
and it's successful as hell, and I keep keep going with this. Keep showing Luke finding younglings. Keep let's see Leia form the New Republic. Let's see Han Solo do stuff.
I don't know that I want to watch Leia form a government. I don't know that that's interesting television, but
hey. We've seen Senate hearings in the prequel trilogy. Remember Senate?
Yes, but they weren't the
Senate deliberations.
Series.
We've already seen it.
Hey, I'm a mother. I would love snippets of her raising Kylo Ren. I would love snippets of Kylo Ren getting to the point where he goes to that academy, and I'd love to see Luke and Leia and their interactions as Kylo Ren gets drawn into that. I mean, he's the centerpiece. He and Rey are the centerpiece for the entire sequel trilogy. Let's see some of that.
Let's see more of Luke training Leia. How cool would that be? Leia as a Jedi.
Amazing.
She never exhibits any of that
Jedi
power.
Leia would be so cool.
Yes,
but she never uses any of that Jedi power in the sequel trilogies. I know she's force sensitive.
She had the power to float in space. Remember that? That was her Jedi power. She floated in space.
Yeah. Hey, it was a silly moment, but it had meaning. So.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a
lot.
All
right, guys. This is our first Star Wars discussion.
It is.
I know. I'm so excited.
Whoa.
When we're done the Star Wars stuff, if we're ever hunting for material, you can walk back through the trilogies, and you guys can explain to me all the stuff I missed as the casual fan. So
I would be thrilled.
All right. Any last words, BB-8? Okay, BB-8 had to swear. Thanks a lot. I said no swearing, and BB-8 just dropped the.
You blew the podcast,
Darn it,
BB-8.
Oh, BB-8. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
May the force be with you.
Bye. Yep.
Nanu.
Always.